back. The says on the weather it's supposed to rain today, but there's like not even a damn cloud out there. So I don't know what's going on. Well, anyway, we're gonna fill in some of these pinholes and get some of these filled in. That way we can sand down a little bit of this stuff and hopefully get this deck lid kind of done. Alright. A few pinholes right here, might as well fill in. Okay, let that do its thing. The rest is looking pretty good. I think what we got to do now is start doing some wet sanding after this. Then we just wet sand this whole part down. So I'm not seeing anything that's really big. I might come across something as I start sanding, but I'd like to get this whole top done. I got to fix a little bit along, a few cracks right there and stuff, but like it's just paint cracks. Right, I'd like to get the top half done, and then I'd like to move down to the side and get these done. This is going to be really easy. I don't see nothing really major that I have to fix or anything. So as long as I can get the inside and around and down done, yeah, because I want to see if I can get the back half at least primered, and then once this is primered, then I could come in and paint it black, and then that whole bottom would be done. Close the deck lid. All right, let's get some soapy water and get ready for some wet sanding. Actually, let's get some work done. Seems like I haven't sanded in a long time. Go ahead and take this U-pole down. Smooth it all out. And with this one, I'm using 220, and then on the sharp corners, I'm just going to go with the 400. So like right in this groove right through here. I don't want to get too crazy, but let's get the big stuff first. Fill in these pinholes. That way now we have to sand down the old. It's not Bondo. It's a U-pole. It's a thinner type of Bondo. So use this soft block through here. All right. And right through these little edges where the block, because it has a little groove, just use your hand. You don't want to get too crazy. That's why I'm going with 400. I'm just going to get these little areas in between. That's what this filler primer's for. Just to kind of fill in all those big areas and then come in with your sandpaper and flatten it. So it'll be so nice when I'm done with it. I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but you know what? Way better than what it was. That's all I'm going for. Because before it had, you know, it had chips in the paint, you know, just a lot of really big grooves and everything. So, and it still has grooves, but it's definitely not as bad. Like I said, whoever I send it to next, if I ever decide to get it repainted, a professional can worry about it. Yeah, it's still hot here. It's still pushing the 100-degree mark. Next week, we're supposed to get in the high 90s, so I'm really just looking forward to that. And maybe I can start moving a little bit more, you know, on this car, because with the heat, I'm only out here for, you know, an hour or two, and then I have to go back in. Do my thing, get rested up. Alright, there we go. So what I'm doing is, as I sand, I'm just filling with my other finger, just to see if there's any high points. I've been looking for C4 Corvettes for like a daily driver, something cheap for right now. Boy, there are some good deals. I'm not quite ready to pull the trigger and buy anything yet, but hopefully in about a year and a half. I prefer a C6, but like I said, I need to get things in order, and I need to see, you know, work, where all the, like what my finances will be and everything. So I think you guys all know anything to do with cars is all about money. If you don't have money, you're not going to be able to do a whole lot with cars. Especially when you have a family. When you're single, so much easier. I mean, because you can budget. And when you have a family, and costs are a lot different. I remember when I was single, I had no problem. I mean, I was dirt poor, but I sure could do a lot more things. You know? But for me, having the family is worth it. You know, it's not perfect by any means. Sometimes it's a headache. But wouldn't trade it for anything in the world right now, you know? I feel blessed that way. I know a lot of times relationships could be a big headache. It's not easy, I'm telling you guys. If you're single, it's not easy. Every once in a while you'll find, you'll see couples that just love each other to death, and they're so easy going with each other and everything, and nothing drives them up the wall. You know, but that's very rare. I was single for, all the way up to my 30s, and I think that kind of helped me get financially stable enough to where I could be able to afford a family. I don't know how people are going to do it nowadays. It's cost of everything's so freaking insane. I don't know. I don't know how a lot of people are getting by right now. I really don't. So I'm doing the same thing right through here. Taking down some of those little bumps.
smoothing it all out, see if I missed anything big.
All right, so I got along the top edge. I gotta do one more little skiff of that U-pole. There's a little bump or two right on that side there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get down in these little crevices down here and get these out of the way. Because I want to spray paint through the bottom here and the back side of this. So the back side of this is actually just really good, and you're never gonna see it. Literally, you'll never see it because it's really close. And I'm not gonna get crazy with it. You know, I don't want to get like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get like showroom. Because if I'm gonna do that, I'm taking off all the panels and everything and working them on a bench. And like I said, I'd rather pay somebody to do that. I'd rather have driver quality paint. So that's what we're gonna go for. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want everything smooth and flush, but I don't want it. I don't need it like glass right now. That'd be nice, but those type of people that do that, I don't know how they have the patience. Because people are telling me they don't know how I have the patience just to do what I'm doing, you know. And then we'll come up along here, along this edge, that bottom edge, about an inch out, and make sure I got all of that nice and flush too. And smooth, and get all these, work out all these little bugs. Because what you want to do is you want to overspray, you know, through here, and then when this is all closed, then you can sand, and you know, you won't have to worry about getting the inside of there. So that's basically all you're really doing there. Now I'm hoping this goes a lot faster, because man, if I could get this deck lid done, oh man, that'll put me way ahead of the game. Then I could really work on this, because this the deck, the back deck, is pretty much done. Just getting the smoothing it out, you know. It's all about how perfect you want it, you know. You could be here for days and days and days. But that's why I'm definitely just wanting a, you know, run-of-the-mill paint job. If you know, it's one of those things. If it was a metal car, I could just quickly sand it, take it down to Mako, and they'd shoot it for me, and I'd be perfectly happy with that. But as we all know, fiberglass cars are a whole different animal. Takes a lot more prep, a lot more work. Just to kind of get things straightened out. All right, so while that U-pole dries, I might as well start working a little bit here down on the bottom bick. You can hear it gets scratchy, so that's like you can hear, not so scratchy. So that kind of gives you an idea of like where you need to sand more. And you can see like high areas right there cropping up a little bit. Man, I did a really good job on that. And this way, see, I can see some of the high areas right there. You have two options. You can keep sanding away at it until it goes down, or you can take a little bit of U-pole, go right over it, and now stick to it. And literally, it's just barely there. So this one I'm going to try and sand down 400 just to kind of get that levelness. I watched other people use that U-pole, even though they'll do all over 400, and then they'll just go over it with that U-pole one more time and then sand it down with U-pole or 400 again. That's a lot of U-pole. That's the brand U-pole. It's called Fantastic Glaze. So, see, tiny little scratch right there that I just might run a little bit of U-pole over it. All right, sand off that top. That should be dry by now, and we'll come back to flatten it all. So anyway, while we're here, some of these little other areas where they're bubbled up, go ahead and fill them in a little bit, make life a little bit easier. And down through here, you just use your finger. I kind of go like that because it has that little groove. I'm not really pushing hard, but it has that little groove right through there, so I have to be careful right through there. All right, now that I got the majority of it sanded down, I'm gonna take some U-pole, kind of show you like some of the areas. Hard to see, but see, I got a little bit right in there, and just tiny. See, it's like really hard to see. I can see it pretty well with my eyes, but then of course we got to fill in that I went a little deep right there. It's just little things that you wouldn't see normally, and I'll go over a little bit. I mean, that feels pretty smooth, but I might just go over it just a skiff, you know. And there's like a, God, you can't even see. It's not even. See, it's right there. You see a pinhole, but then there's just tiny little scratches. So, oh, and then where my antenna was, I need to go over it with that too. So just tiny little areas, just to get the rest of the deck done with the U-pole, and then we'll go back and sand it with 400 after that. So I did it all with 220, and now we'll go over it with 400 after I do the U-pole. So we'll get all those little spots. Okay, so now I'm going to finish off with the
we'll come back.
400, but I'm going to use the hard block. That way I know on these really big areas it's nice and flat. I mean, we should be close anyway, but take down this U-pole that I put on there. So 400 is going to be about where I want it. Go ahead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to my towel in here and get it wet to make it easier. Alright, here we go. We got it all shined up a little bit. You can still kind of see little waves and stuff. I got to go through here. You can kind of see where it looks like little surgery marks where I wiped out the fenders. So I'm going to clean it up a little bit. Just a quick wipe down. And I'm going to pull it in. We might actually get some rain. But I wanted to kind of clean up the body, clean out the garage, get some of that dust down, and we'll drive back in. I'll clean up the interior a little bit, and I wanted to wash off all this, all the sanding marks. That way when I pull back in I can see exactly where I need to go. I got it all kind of clean. I gotta vacuum up the floor mats, but I'll do that way later. But at least I missed a spot. I gotta clean that. But at least it's looking better sitting here. It's not so freaking dusty. And yeah. Anyway, we're gonna leave off right here today. But we're looking pretty good. Oh, and we're actually starting to get drops of rain. So it is gonna rain. Yeah, maybe we'll get a lot of rain. All right, well, anyway, we got it cleaned up. Front half shiny. Now we just got to do the rear end. We're getting there.